Most men believe that attracting a woman is about being constantly available, overly expressive, or chasing after her attention. They think that if they text her enough, compliment her often, or pour their emotions out, she will be drawn to them. But the truth is, these behaviors often push her away. The real secret to making a woman think about you all day isn't about trying to impress her with words or gestures. It's about creating emotional engagement through Stoic principles, emotional control, mystery, and the ability to remain steady and composed in any situation. When you embody Stoicism, you stop chasing after her and start creating a dynamic where she feels emotionally drawn to you without you doing anything overtly impressive. The power comes from your emotional independence, your presence, and your ability to leave her wanting more. The first secret to making her think about you all day is creating emotional tension without saying a word. Most men make the mistake of being overly available or too eager to engage. They believe that if they constantly offer attention and validation, it will keep her thinking about them. But instead, it leads to emotional boredom. A Stoic man, on the other hand, understands that attraction thrives in emotional tension. He doesn't chase. He doesn't overcompliment. Instead, he creates space and allows her the opportunity to wonder about him, to feel curiosity. He holds back just enough, never revealing too much at once. This creates an emotional pull that makes her think about you long after your interaction ends. When you pull away, even slightly, and don't give her all of your attention, it forces her to invest emotionally. She begins to miss you, wonder what you're thinking, and feel the desire to connect again. The second secret to making her think about you all day is maintaining your emotional control. Men who chase after women often do so out of emotional desperation. They react impulsively to every situation, constantly looking for reassurance or approval. This emotional instability is a turnoff because it signals a lack of self-control and emotional maturity. A Stoic man, however, remains emotionally steady no matter what. Whether she's distant, unsure, or even a little cold, he doesn't panic. He doesn't need to seek answers from her or try to fix the situation. Instead, he lets the interaction breathe, confident in his own emotional strength. This emotional control is a powerful attractor. Women are drawn to men who can remain calm under pressure, who don't get rattled by uncertainty, and who don't fall apart at the smallest sign of distance. By maintaining your composure and not reacting impulsively, you show her that you are emotionally stable, and in turn, make her want to invest more of her emotional energy into you.
If you're ready to master emotional control and attract her without chasing, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.
The third secret to making her think about you all day is building mystery. Women are naturally attracted to men who possess a sense of mystery, who don't reveal everything about themselves all at once. When you give her just enough information to intrigue her, but not enough to satisfy her curiosity, she begins to think about you more. A Stoic man knows the power of keeping things slightly veiled. He doesn't share every detail of his life, his thoughts, or his emotions immediately. He understands that mystery creates desire. Women are drawn to men who have layers, who they can't figure out right away, and who leave them wanting more. By maintaining this air of mystery, you make her emotionally invest in trying to learn more about you. The key is not to hide things, but to be selective about what you reveal and when. This creates a natural pull that keeps her thinking about you, wondering about your thoughts and intentions, and wanting to spend more time uncovering the depths of who you really are.
Mystery is not just about holding back information, it's about how you present yourself and your energy. A Stoic man doesn't need to talk endlessly to be noticed. His presence is enough. He doesn't fill every silence with words or try to make things happen at every moment. Instead, he allows the natural flow of the interaction to unfold, creating moments where the woman has to wonder what he's thinking or what he's feeling. This mysterious energy makes him highly attractive because it signals that he's in control of his emotions, his life, and his attention. When a woman can't easily read you, she becomes curious. This curiosity leads her to think about you long after your interaction ends. She starts to wonder what's behind your calm exterior, what drives you, and why you're not like the others. By holding back just enough,
and letting her experience the tension of not knowing everything about you, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. The allure of the unknown is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. As you continue to embrace mystery, you start to notice a subtle shift in the power dynamic between you and her. The more you remain emotionally grounded, the more you set the tone for how she perceives you. Women are naturally drawn to men who don't need to over-explain themselves or fill every moment with talk. A stoic man doesn't react immediately to her moods or attempts to engage. Instead, he responds with thoughtful composure, allowing her to feel both intrigued and challenged. When you create emotional space by not revealing everything about yourself right away, you become a source of mystery and curiosity. This shift in dynamics creates a natural attraction because she wants to know more about you. She becomes emotionally invested in figuring you out. The key is that you never give her all the answers. You leave her with questions, creating an ongoing desire to learn more about you. It's this mystery that keeps her thinking about you throughout the day. The beauty of mystery is that it allows space for desire to build. Most men make the mistake of showing all their cards too quickly. They try to impress, over-communicate, and constantly seek reassurance. But when you show too much too soon, the mystery fades, and so does the attraction. A stoic man understands that less is more. He doesn't need to reveal everything about himself up front. Instead, he lets the connection unfold slowly, keeping certain aspects of his life and thoughts to himself. This allows her to feel that there is still more to uncover, that there is depth she hasn't yet explored. By leaving some things unsaid, you create an emotional tension that is highly attractive. Women are drawn to men who are not easy to read, who don't immediately disclose their every thought and emotion. This sense of emotional intrigue keeps her engaged and coming back for more. As the mystery deepens, you begin to notice a shift in how she reacts to you. She becomes more emotionally invested, but not because you are trying to make her feel that way. It's because you've created a dynamic where she has to invest her own energy to figure you out, to learn more about you. The stoic man doesn't chase her. Instead, he allows her to invest in the connection. When a woman has to work for your attention, when she has to wonder about your intentions, she becomes more emotionally attached. The chase is not forced. It's a natural progression of the tension you've created by not revealing everything about yourself too soon. This creates emotional excitement and anticipation. Women crave this kind of emotional dynamic, where the attraction builds slowly over time. They don't want to feel like they have everything figured out, and the more she feels like she needs to discover more about you, the more emotionally drawn she becomes. As you maintain this emotional space, you start to notice that she seeks your approval more, but not in the typical, needy way. When you stop seeking approval from her, something profound happens. She starts wanting to earn your attention, affection, and respect. The stoic man doesn't chase her, but he also doesn't make it easy for her to gain his attention. He knows his worth and doesn't give it away freely. This creates a dynamic where she has to work for your attention, your approval, and your emotional engagement. Women are drawn to men who are not constantly available, men who are selective about where they invest their energy. By creating this balance of emotional availability and mystery, you make her feel a desire to earn your respect. This is a powerful dynamic that drives attraction. When you don't give everything away, when you leave her with just enough to keep her intrigued, she becomes more emotionally invested and starts to think about you long after your interaction ends. As you create this balance of mystery and emotional space, you begin to notice a shift in how she responds to you. She becomes more invested, not because you've done anything special to make her feel that way, but because you've given her the space to emotionally invest in the connection. The stoic man understands that attraction isn't about constant interaction or overt gestures. It's about creating tension and anticipation. By not immediately responding to her or always being available, you make her want to invest more. She begins to wonder about your thoughts, your feelings, and your intentions. This uncertainty creates a longing to understand you more, and that desire is a powerful force in building attraction. This dynamic forces her to emotionally engage with you on a deeper level. Women are attracted to men who don't just react to them, but instead, who leave them wanting more, who create a sense of mystery and emotional investment that builds attraction over time. At this point, the attraction between you is no longer just about the physical, it's about the emotional pull you've created. By remaining emotionally steady, by not rushing the connection, and by letting her engage with you on her own terms, you've created a foundation of desire and anticipation. This dynamic is deeply attractive because it forces her to emotionally invest in the relationship. Women are drawn to men who don't allow them to get too comfortable, who create just enough emotional tension to keep them thinking about him, but never reveal everything at once. This makes the emotional connection more exciting, more engaging, and more meaningful. The Stoic man doesn't need to talk endlessly about his feelings. He doesn't need to constantly reassure her of his interest. Instead, he creates a space where the emotional connection builds naturally. Women feel compelled to figure him out, to discover more about who he is, and as they do, their attraction grows deeper. As the emotional connection deepens, you begin to notice that the pull you've created becomes more powerful. She starts thinking about you long after your interactions. When a woman is emotionally invested, even if it's subtle, she can't help but wonder what you're thinking, what your intentions are, and why you're not constantly chasing after her. This emotional space, created by your Stoic nature, allows her to feel the tension and excitement that comes with not having everything figured out. When you don't lay all your cards on the table, when you don't try to explain every move or feeling, you create a sense of mystery and longing. By giving her the chance to emotionally invest in figuring you out, you become someone who is not only attractive in the moment, but also memorable in the long term. Women are drawn to men who make them feel both safe and challenged, who allow them the space to build a deeper emotional connection without rushing the process. By now, the emotional tension you've built is undeniable. She's emotionally invested, but not because you've forced it. Instead, it's because you've created a space where she feels emotionally challenged, intrigued, and curious about you. When you embody Stoic principles, you stop needing to make her feel something. Instead, you allow her to feel her own emotions toward you. You're not pushing or pulling. You're allowing the natural progression of attraction to unfold without interference. The more emotionally steady you remain, the more she has to lean in, to engage, and to invest emotionally in understanding you. This dynamic makes you incredibly attractive because you are not only in control of your emotions, but also creating an environment where attraction can grow naturally. Women want men who can handle their own emotions and create this sense of emotional depth and challenge. When you let her wonder about you, when you give her space to feel the emotional tension without smothering her, you become someone who is not just attractive, but unforgettable. The true power of seduction without words lies in the emotional space you create. By mastering Stoic emotional control and staying emotionally independent, you've turned yourself into a man of mystery, one who doesn't reveal all at once, but leaves her wanting more. This subtle yet powerful force of attraction isn't something you chase or force. It's something that builds naturally. Women are drawn to men who don't need them to feel validated. When you stop seeking approval, stop trying to impress, and simply remain emotionally grounded, you create an attraction that is not only magnetic, but lasting. They feel the pull, but they have to work to understand you, to earn your attention, and to engage with your depth. This dynamic builds real, authentic connections because it's based on emotional investment, not manipulation. When you lead with emotional control, when you allow her to feel both challenged and secure, you create a space where attraction thrives effortlessly. If you've found value in this, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. This is Marble Masculinity. Stay grounded, stay in control, stay unforgettable.